Right, Phil and Jeff have very kindly locked me in.
I'm hearing you behind me.
Something moved in that room. Somebody's whispering from inside that room.
Someone's just touched me on the shoulder.
Yes, sir, yes. Evan Poison. Manufactured record. Yes, sir. Go. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Here we go. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Here we go. It's like a light is in my face, but I can't fall for you. I close my eyes and drift away. I've overdosed on you. Cause then you wake up dead one day.
It has been several years since our last visit at this location. Some of the paranormal activity here is residual, with the energy of the past embedded within its walls. But there are other spirits that are intelligent and will interact by communication. We return to Phil's workplace. We revisit the hidden souls. Phil, over the years, is now used to the movement and loud banging sounds that he hears throughout the time he spends whilst working, along with the evidence that has been captured on his CCTV. The area was once known as Manor Farm, which was built in the early 1400s, and during the Reformation under King Henry VIII, the monasteries were broken up and lands and buildings were confiscated. There was once a limeworks which was opened in 1842 and expanded in 1864 when several lime kilns were operating. The site then became a cement works in 1897 when it was known as the Finsbury Chalk Works. Trains would transport the lime, chalk and sand to the docks where it was used as ballast for ships. Back in those days, men would be suspended on ropes to cut away at the chalk, and there were many injuries and deaths. In 1902, the Kent Electric Power Company opened its business on where Phil's property stands today. Harold Nell was the manager until 1948. Harold was born on the 16th of June 1893. He was the only child of Thomas and Ellen Nell. Harold was also a commanding officer in the Home Guard. The engineers that worked at the electric company pulled a two-wheel cart with their tools and materials. Public lighting was maintained from the cart with a box tower, which was wound up by hand. Each engineer earned 25 shillings a week. In the area, a substation was always manned 24 hours a day. It was the call centre for the consumers and a meeting point for the engineers in the event of any emergencies on the high voltage network. The company had what was known as jointers. They were workers that would manually dig the trenches and join the cables. Again, there were many accidents and deaths due to the nature of the work. Freddie Cooper, a worker in the company, stated, "Welfare was high on the company's list. The hospital services were organised by charities and money was deducted from our wages to cover us in case of injury. I benefited from this when I was in hospital for 6 weeks in 1938, where my life was saved by the devotion of Sister Long. I had bled for a week from a split artery in my nose." Situated yards from the location is All Saints Church, which was built in 1075. As a result of quarrying, the church now stands isolated above the chalk cliffs and it is surrounded by graveyards.
He's picking up movement. That side.
We hear noises from downstairs.
Movement downstairs.
The land was used to provide chalk, and mining started. Did you hear a voice then?
There is a figure standing on the punch bag. I kid you not. I just saw something black move at the bottom of our camera.
So here we are back at Phil's place of work. We were here investigating a few years back and we captured some really good evidence. So Phil, up here we've got some really good EVPs.
We did.
Downstairs we captured on the SLS cam a figure that was actually punching your punch bag that you'd seen on several occasions actually swinging and moving. We actually caught that figure. We left some static cams running overnight and we also captured movement, banging, voices, one that said Davis, and we believe that not far from here was where the electrical company was that was originally here, and we believe that there's possibly the workers still going about their business, because we do hear that, you know, when we was here last time we heard banging from downstairs. It sounded like people walking around. So what are you hoping for this evening then? What do you reckon?
Well, to be fair, it's been fairly quiet in many ways. I mean, I'm obviously down here a lot during the day. There's a lot of background noise because of what goes on the estate. But I am here on my own, you know, sometimes at the weekends and stuff. The punch bag does swing from time to time. You know, obviously, if the door's open, you could put it down to, you know, a breeze and stuff like that. But I do notice sometimes if I come down, even though everything's all shut up, it's perfectly airtight, the punch bag is actually moving, which is odd. It's interesting that we picked up the name Davis or Davies. Can't remember exactly what it was. I know from the research which you did that somebody who worked at the electrical company was called Davis.
Yeah, I mean, we did have a few comments on our last investigation that we did here to do with your CCTV. One was which seemed to be, I don't know what it was, it looked like something that was swinging in front of the CCTV camera. A few people have said, oh, it could be an insect or a spider. But as we've looked at the film, as it's moving across, it seems to be translucent, like you can see through it in several parts of the film. And also the actual time code in the corner, as it's moving in front, it freezes it, makes it jump, makes it go back. I mean, if it was just an insect or a spider in front of the camera, it wouldn't do that to the time code.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally see why people think it could be a spider or an insect going across in front of the camera. At the end of the day, we present what we find, and it's down to, for people to make their own mind up. But the fact that the time, it sort of judders sort of for a few seconds, I haven't seen that before. I mean, I check the CCTV regularly, and I've never noticed on any occasion that happening.
Here is the original CCTV footage that Phil obtained. As you will see, the camera starts to malfunction and the time code starts to jump forwards and backwards as something moves in front of the camera. Well, someone else did say that on the other piece of CCTV footage, that it looks like a rat runs out of the wall and runs back in, and what the footage was, it was like a white mist that comes along the floor, stops, and then goes back in. It comes out again, stops, and then floats back into the wall.
It's not a rat.
If it was a rat, you would definitely see that on the CCTV.
And the reason why I say it's not a rat is because I had a rat downstairs in the office on one occasion, and you could see. I mean, that camera is detailed enough quality to see exactly what it was. You could see it was a rat that ran across, not in exactly the same place, but it was down there, and that was very bizarre.
It's like a white mist that floats on the floor.
And at the time I was thinking, could it possibly be a car outside that had shone headlamps? But there's no windows down there.
Once again, this is the original footage taken from Phil's CCTV. If this was a rodent of some description, it would clearly be seen. So, you ready for lights out then?
Yeah, I'm interested. One thing I would say is I've never felt uneasy in here. There was a bang just then, did you hear it? Yeah. I'd like to point out that we're here, there is nobody else on site. As I say, it's a locked complex, so any noises which we hear are from in here. There's nobody working, excuse me, next door, and it's actually really quiet. There's no roads nearby or anything like that, so we should be lucky. As I was saying, I've never felt uneasy. If there is something here, it's going about its business. It's not causing me any problems with my work when I'm here.
Well, it's definitely intelligent because it said Philip when we was here on an EVP downstairs.
That's right, yeah. So
okay,
we'll see. Hopefully we'll be able to communicate.
Yeah, brilliant.
So, lovely.
Cheers, Phil.
No problems.
We have our static full spectrum night vision cams in place, and we begin the investigation.
Okay, I'm sat on the stairs, at the top of the stairs to the mezzanine level, and it's a bit strange really, considering I'm down here all the time doing this. But anyway, look, first of all, I just want to tell you my name, to introduce myself. My name is Philip, and you will have seen me down here a lot. Now, the last time we did this, we think we saw you, and we certainly heard you. Is that you moving slightly on the stairs, Jeff, do you think?
No.
Okay.
I heard it more up where you are in the hallway. I have not moved.
Okay.
We are only minutes into the investigation and we both hear movement. Phil thinks it's me that is moving, but I am dead still. Here is the audio with enhancements.
Now, the last time we did this, we think we saw you, and we certainly heard you. And we certainly heard you. Now, I'm hearing you behind me. That seems to be where our camera is over there. That's where we've heard quite a few noises in the past. When I'm here during the day, you may well be watching me. You may be trying to communicate with me, I don't know, because it's so noisy with the hive of activity that's going on around. But now it's nice and quiet. I can hear knocking. Can you walk?
Somewhere on the staircase.
That's what I was thinking. Can you walk up the stairs towards me, please? Don't worry about Jeff. Push past him.
I thought someone was coming up the stairs.
As we are hearing movement on the stairs, Phil asks for whoever it is to come up the stairs, and I hear footsteps approach me. Here is the enhanced audio.
I thought someone was coming up the stairs. I thought someone was coming up the stairs.
We lock Mark in a small room to the rear of the building, and Phil and I leave so Mark is completely alone.
Right, Phil and Jeff have very kindly locked me in with a padlock, what is a back storeroom in Phil's office, and Phil has just informed me that it's full of antiquities that he's collected that are from all over the world, so there might be a big chance that some of those might have attachments with them, and we might be able to contact whoever are attached to the different objects Phil's collected over the years. But first off, let me introduce myself. My name's Mark. I'd like to call out to see if there's any spirits left behind from when this was a chalk mine. Now, just outside out there, there's probably 150-foot cliffs where the chalk was mined, and then it was transported by a narrow gauge railway down to the docks, and they used it to ballast the ships that used to run up and down the Medway. Now, that was a very, very dangerous job, mining the chalk, because the workers would be suspended on the chalk face basically only by a rope, and they used to swing from side to side and knock chalk off that would then drop down and be collected at the bottom. As I say, it was a very dangerous job, and by all chances there was probably deaths involved or very serious injuries from workers falling or ropes snapping or chalk actually falling down on top of them and causing them head injuries and stuff like that. And then, as I say, it's got to be a 150-foot drop till you actually get to the chalk mine floor. So I'm calling out to anyone, if you are here, that used to work at the chalk mine and maybe you were killed in an accident as a result of working on the chalk face. So is there anybody here from that era when it was a chalk mine? If so, could you tell me your name please and what you did when you were working at the chalk mine? If you did work in the chalk mine, what was day-to-day life like? I can probably imagine it was a really, really hard life. What was it like for you? Whoa. That was a really loud bang then, or tapping noise. I'm not sure where it come from. Could you do that again, please? Whoa. That was a really loud bang then, or tapping noise. Whoa. That was a really loud bang then, or tapping noise.
We release Mark from the room to the rear of the building, and whilst we prepare for the next session, we notice that our static cam 1 has not been recording. Not only that, the power cable has been disconnected, and also the IR lighting cable. Well, we've had our static cams set up for some time, covering different areas, and we're down in the workshop, and there's a camera that we had, this one here, just over here, and we noticed that not only has the power been turned off, but also the cable for our IR light, that's been pulled out. So you have to actually really pull that out to stop the IR light from working, but to also, you know, turn off the power to the camera as well. I mean, that just can't be a coincidence. So we're going to reset this this camera up, this static cam, and get it rolling again. Static cam 1 is now operational and recording, so we go back upstairs, and as we go through the door, seconds after, a shadow figure is captured on our static cam 3, which moves halfway down the staircase and disappears into the wall. So we're down now in the workshop. Got Mark on the camera there, and Phil is sitting up in the office. So I'd like to talk to any of the men that worked for the electrical company, the Kent Electrical Company. I will point out that just down here on the floor is a REM pod. If at any point you would like to tell us that you're here, it would be great if you could just come up and touch that. So last time that we were here, we captured you moving around, and one of you said the name Davis. Are you here? If so, can you come and speak to us, please? If you can, at any point, if you want to leave us a message or tell us something, I have 2 recorders here, and you won't know what they are. They record your voice, and then we can play it back and listen to what you've got to say. And I've got also just here, it's a very sensitive digital recorder. It picks up on different frequencies. So if you can see these red lights, if you speak into any of those red lights, hopefully we can hear your voice. So Davis, is there something that you can do to let us know that you're here, please? The company was run by a manager called Harold Nell. Something moved in that room.
Yeah, I'm pointing to that now, I heard it.
Something moved in that room.
Yeah, I'm pointing to that now, I heard it.
Something moved in that room.
Yeah, I'm pointing to that now, I heard it.
Somebody's whispering from inside that room. I can hear them. Well, I can just about hear whispering. Was there an accident? Was you involved in an accident? Did you die whilst working for the electrical company?
Someone's just touched me on the shoulder.
What happened?
Someone placed their hand on my shoulder like this. Where are you? Like that, but from the back. Oh, fuck. That was it. It wasn't aggressive. Oh, I'm shaking now.
With Mark being touched in the workshop area, we fire up the SLS cam to try and map in any figures that our eyes cannot see. We sweep the whole location and nothing was detected until we reached the workshop on the ground floor, and as we sweep the area, a figure appears on the punch bag and then another figure is captured. We secure the area and leave the location. We have our static cam running throughout the remainder of the night. It is around 1 hour later that this is captured on the static cam, an orb of light that pulsates, lighting up the entire area.